Number 13 is turns while moving backwards. So it's the same thing, but backwards. Okay. And if we can turn you around to reposition yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Well done. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So for this skill, we'd like you to sort of turn yourself around and then weave your way progressively towards the end. You'll notice that the obstacles become smaller as you go down, and their space available is less as you move on. And if you could stop just as you go around the second one, if you don't mind. Thank you. And the key training point for turns while moving backwards, as it is when moving forward, is that the axle of the drive wheel should be clearing whatever the obstacle is to avoid striking it. As things become narrower, the casters tend to swing more widely, making it more difficult to avoid a wall or other sorts of obstacles. Great. So what we'd like you to do is to sort of weave your way through the obstacles. They get smaller as you go along, and the space you have available is less as you go along. And if you could maybe stop when you're partway through one of the turns so I can make a comment as well. Thank you. I'm going to stop you there for a moment. So as when going forward, the key training tip when moving turns backwards is that the axle of the drive wheel should be opposite the outer part of the obstacle you're trying to turn around. The other issue that's worth making note of is that when you're trying to drive backwards using a joystick, it's a little counterintuitive, and when you're, especially when you're doing the turning part, you really need to remember that whichever direction the joystick moves in is the direction your knees or the front of the chair is going to turn in, not the direction that the back of the chair is going to turn in. Okay, we'll just get you to carry on. That should do the trick, I think. Thank you. So for this exercise, we'd like you to sort of move yourself through the obstacles, maybe starting off in that direction. As you go on, the size of the obstacles gets smaller, and the amount of space you have to work in gets a little narrower. Okay, thank you. If you could stop right there for a second. And one of the key points when doing moving turns backwards or forwards is that the axle of the drive wheel needs to be opposite whatever you're trying to turn around to avoid hitting it. Then you can turn as sharply as you want after that. That's great. Thank you. Great.